Hey there! You're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with more of The Raven. We are here on the Orient Express, playing as Constable Zellner, who is here on behalf of the Swiss authorities to examine a jewel robbery that happened recently at the British Museum. We are also on board with Inspector LeGrand, who is guarding the jewel, or whatever is in the safe in the back of the train. And currently, we have a problem ahead of us in that we need to get this professor back into his room. We're also just sort of exploring what's going on in the train here. And let's see what's happening at this compartment door.
The little label on the door reads Baroness von Trebitz. Blue blood on the Orient Express.
Let's knock on the door and see if the Baroness has noticed anything about the missing key.
Yes, what is it?
Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then closed the door. The noise on this train is driving me crazy.
Ah, a lost purse.
You're missing a purse. Was it stolen?
At the very least, I cannot find it, sir.
It was stolen.
When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What?
In Zurich, on the platform, sir.
I just asked where you last saw your purse.
In Zurich on the platform. James, tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch my legs.
The Baroness says...
Maybe you lost it there.
What?
The Baroness never loses anything, sir.
I never lose anything.
Very well then. I shall be on the lookout for your purse.
I never lose anything. Let's see what she has to say about the other passengers.
If I might ask you a few questions about your fellow passengers.
I thought he was looking for my purse. James, tell him to look for my purse.
The Baroness wishes that you search for her purse.
But couldn't we perhaps... All right. First, the purse. I will have a look around.
Thank you, sir.
I hope we get to meet the Baroness at some point because she sounds very amusing.
The Baroness seems to have a special personality.
Oh, yes,
Better
she
not
does.
bother her until I find her purse.
Let's keep looking and see if we can find her purse.
I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure.
This is Lady Clarissa Westmacott, or the homage to Agatha Christie. As I mentioned in the previous episode, that one of the reasons why I love this game so far is it is got a lot of homages to my favorite author, Agatha Christie. And one of them is the name of the book that Jacob is reading, which was The Vicarage in the Mirror. And one of Agatha Christie's famous books is Murder at the Vicarage, the first book featuring Miss Marple. And also, she's got a number of books, Dead Man's Mirror and The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side, which also features Miss Marple. So, the other thing is that Mr. Zellner here has some resemblances to Hercule Poirot, particularly his very neat little mustache, which Poirot's got very famous mustaches. Let's find out what Lady Clarissa Westmacott is doing here.
May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam,
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine.
So that's a direct reference to Hercule Poirot, who actually, a little fun fact is that Agatha Christie got so sick of writing about Hercule Poirot that during World War II, actually in the 40s, she killed him off in the book that later came out named Curtain, which did come out to the 70s. But because he was beloved so much, she couldn't bear to publish the book, and so she went on writing about him even though she couldn't stand him. So, let's find out where she's traveling to.
Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see.
So that is all very true about Agatha Christie. She did travel to Egypt, where she met her second husband, Max Mallowan, who she stayed married to until her death. And let's see what she has noticed about fellow passengers.
As a writer, you must be very observant. Am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
Let's find out about that violinist who looks definitely suspicious. And also, before I click on this, she mentioned that she was going to Cairo, and the violinist mentioned that he's going to Cairo, and the archaeologist mentioned that he's going to Cairo, so everybody's going to Cairo. I think something juicy is happening in Cairo. What do you think?
Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Ah, so now we know the name of the of the violinist. David Kruster.
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later. Just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course.
He took 2 biscuits. So you know what that means. He did it. Absolutely. Totally guilty. Let's see what else she's found out.
Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor or the baroness?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector LeGrand's investigation in public.
LeGrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
Interesting. I have a feeling that Jakob Zellner may just help save the day. So let's ask about the purse of the good Duchess.
There's something else.
Or baroness.
A passenger's purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner. As you know, I only deal with murder, not burglary.
Have you asked my boy yet? Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that now. As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it. Your chance.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best.
I don't know who she's referring to with her friend Ronald, but let's go up here and see what's been written in the book before we go any further ahead. So this is Inspector LeGrand, LeGrand's trap, the violinist. Oops. He is on his way to Venice and then on to Cairo to give a concert at the Egyptian Museum. Okay, Kreutzer. And this is Professor Lucien, who seems rather nervous. Ah, James the butler. Baroness von Trebitz and her butler have their own luxury compartment on the train. In my considered opinion, though, there's not a compartment on any train in the world large enough to share with the Baroness. Her butler, James, must have the patience of a saint. I'm surprised that she didn't get him, like, his own compartment. Seems like that would be what you would do. A missing purse, not exactly the case of the century. I can't imagine that the Raven's somehow mixed up in it. All the same, I'm a police officer, and I should make an effort to find the purse. Ah-ha-ha! Look at her! Oh, I can't wait to meet her. Baroness von Trebitz. She's a generous philanthropist. Oh, here we go. She is the one who's financing the expedition to Cairo, or the exhibition in Cairo. The first time in centuries that both eyes of the Sphinx will be displayed together. So there you go. That must be what the inspector is transporting as the second eye of the Sphinx. Interesting. And Lady Clarissa, the author of the century. That's true. Ah, this is interesting down here. It says some of the names of her books, which Agatha Christie had books very similar names. They've done a lot of good homages here. Little Indians, which is a homage to And Then There Were None, which was originally called 10 Little Indians. Death on the Rails, which is Death on the Orient Express. Murder in Egypt, which is the book? I don't remember the name of it. Death on the Nile. That's it. Under a Full Moon. I don't know that one. Styles' Affair of Mystery. That's The Mysterious Affair at Styles, her first book, written in 1922, I believe. The Mysterious Affair at Styles, featured Hercule Poirot. The Vicarage in the Mirror, which the good constable is reading, is a homage to Murder at the Vicarage and The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side. And Maurice Partot's Easter is a homage to Hercule Poirot's Christmas. So, her most famous book of all, and a little fact here, though I love Agatha Christie, her most famous book is And Then There Were None, or 10 Little Indians. And I didn't like that book at all. I really didn't. I do not like that type of book. So yeah, not my favorite book, but all the rest of them I absolutely love. Let's see who's in this compartment back here. Who is this guy? Oh, Dr. Gebhardt. Let's see what he has to say.
Ah, Mr.
Zellner.
Right.
How can I help you?
Dr. Gebhardt, reading about the robbery in London.
Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
This guy just rubs me the wrong way. He really does. Let's see if he's seen the conductor about, or the steward.
There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves, and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He is not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
The rabble will rule the world one day. Okay. I don't know. Don't like this guy. But he did mention something interesting in that his suitcase is missing. So the professor's door has been locked. The baroness's purse has been stolen, and this dude's suitcase has been stolen. So let's see if he's seen anything suspicious, because there's lots of suspicious things going on this train.
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. LeGrand is his name, if I recall correctly.
LeGrand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
Cash box.
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
Indeed.
It does make one wonder. Newspaper. Let's find out if he'll let us use that newspaper or read it up close.
Your newspaper caught my eye. May I borrow it for a second?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön.
And let's ask him about the Baroness's missing purse.
I meant to ask. The Baroness is missing her purse.
A baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there, and now a baroness as well.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were talking to her?
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell more copies than her crime novels.
I read that too.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have to work 1,000 years to earn that kind of money.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
I'm going to tell you straight that whenever anyone says it was a pleasant chat, really, it wasn't a pleasant chat. Let's see what's in that newspaper. Okay, so we have an article here on the ruby.
Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. One of 2 priceless jewels. Extraordinary pure ruby. 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion? Not really anything new. One of the 2 eyes of the Sphinx, a ruby that's nearly 4,000 years old, was stolen from the British Museum. The burglar was surprised, but managed to escape with his loot without being recognized. That's the official story. But it says nothing about LeGrand and the second eye.
So there is a second eye. And that's what we want to find out about. That second eye, I bet that's what's being held in the freight train. I don't think it takes too much of a detective to come up with that one. I wonder if this picture down here in the corner is perhaps since it looks like it's an actual photograph, it may be a Easter egg, maybe containing some pictures of the developers, or that'd be pretty neat. Let's see. Oh, you can look at this. Let's see what this announcement says, this little advertisement.
Luna's Drops, the calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day. It relaxes the nerves and maintains domestic tranquility. Luna's Drops, if you don't want to bother your husband.
Okay, so it looks like she's got a bottle of liqueur behind her back. So basically, the way to avoid bothering your husband is to stay good and drunk. Good and liquored up, and that'll do it. Be happy to see him every day when he comes home. What's this article say?
A story about the upcoming Oscars and Cleopatra's chances of winning. An incredible feat. They built the largest movie set of all time in Rome. And because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director, and months of delays, cost shot to over $40 million. The most expensive movie ever made. A record never to be broken.
$40 million in 1963 was a whole lot of money, and it's still a whole lot of money today.
John Surtees won the Formula One World Championship for the first time on Saturday. He also won the World Championship in motorcycle racing from 1956 to 1960, making him the only man in motorsports to win world championships in both motorcycle and Formula One events. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast, too much exhaust.
Okay, so we have read enough. And also, let's see what's in his inventory that we did not put here. He came into the train with this.
I bought it last week at a flea market. I like it because it tells a story. I suppose the previous owner bought himself a newer one. This one still works just fine, though.
It's his wallet. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And his pills.
Pills. For my heart. I'm supposed to take one if I have trouble. My daughter insisted that I take them with me. She was strongly against this little adventure, but I wasn't about to change my mind.
Okay, and let's look behind the bar.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence.
You could examine the notepad.
Pad on which the steward writes orders. Empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today.
Or maybe he didn't use it because he's been hijacked. We're gonna find the steward tied up in the corner somewhere.
I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy.
The pencil. Can I use the pencil? Ah, scissors. Use the pencil with the scissors.
When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch.
Fingerprints! Excellent.
I scraped a small amount of graphite off the pencil lead. The powder is very fine, practically dust.
Good. Oh, a drawer.
Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there. Locked. Where could he be?
And bowl?
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth. Maybe if I just suck it.
So he took some butterscotch that he can just suck if he needs to. So he can't get into the drawer that the conductor may have the compartment key in. So we need something to lockpick that drawer open. Let's go see if we can find Maddie. We're still also looking for the Baroness's purse. No Maddie. Yep, he's not here. Oh, there's a map here.
The large map shows the different routes of the Orient Express. This train began in Paris and ends in Istanbul as usual. Unfortunately, it will make most of its journey without me.
What is this door?
This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine.
Ah, okay, so we probably can't go out there. Okay. Oh, we can take the book. I wonder if we can take the book and see if she will sign it.
Should I ask for an autograph? That will be quite unprofessional. But on the other hand...
What opportunity would you ever have to see Agatha Christie? Up close. Let's see if the violinist knows about the purse.
If I may trouble you once more. A passenger is missing her purse. Perhaps you've seen it.
So, there are thieves on the train.
It's been missing for some time now. Probably since Zurich.
The Swiss don't let go of money easily, do they? Oh, pardon me. No, I haven't seen the purse.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Don't know what to say about that guy. And let's see if the professor has seen the purse.
He doesn't make a very balanced impression. And he, of all people, isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum.
I love how we're talking about him right in front of him.
Professor Lucien?
Yes? Do you have the key?
Actually, I wanted...
Please, I have to go back to my compartment.
Okay, so he's not going to talk to us until we find that purse. There's one other place we can explore that we haven't yet explored. We've already talked to those two, so I don't think there's too much else to say to them. I'm going to end this episode here. In the next episode, we're going to go back into this area here, which we haven't yet explored, and see, well, what else is there to explore. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the thumbs up button below and encourage me. And if you loved what you saw, join the party, the ever-growing party, and subscribe. I'll see you back here on board the Orient Express with our character, Constable Zellner, in the next episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. Get every new Jessa Channel video right in your email inbox. Subscribe, then, from your YouTube homepage, click Manage Subscriptions, then check Email with new uploads. And thanks for watching.